When a woman senses you've lost interest, something deep within her begins to stir. It's not just a passing curiosity or mild confusion. It sparks a seismic shift in her behavior, rooted in biology, psychology, and years of evolutionary wiring. Women are extremely attuned to the energy they receive from men, especially those they were once deeply invested in or even casually admired by. Attention in her world is currency. It's how she measures her desirability, her worth, and her influence. And when that stream of attention suddenly dries up, it forces her into a confrontation with a reality she doesn't want to face. The power has shifted. The dynamic has changed. You're no longer orbiting her, and she's no longer in control. This isn't about emotional attachment alone. It's about the collapse of a perceived advantage, a disruption of the gravitational pull she thought she held over you. When you step back, whether intentionally or as a natural result of disinterest, her internal balance begins to wobble. Her mind scrambles to recalibrate, to understand what went wrong, and to fix it. She goes from certainty to doubt, from relaxed to on edge. And in that uncertainty, something fascinating happens. She starts to pursue. At first, she becomes more attentive. The shift in her demeanor is undeniable. She notices your silences, your absence, your focus elsewhere, and it bothers her. You'll see her initiating conversations more often, asking about your day, making excuses to be around. She might show up in places she knows you frequent, comment on your posts with enthusiasm she never showed before, or laugh at jokes she once brushed off. It's not coincidence, it's strategy. She's trying to reclaim the spotlight that used to be on her. She's trying to remind you, and herself, that she still matters. But this attention isn't just affection, it's competition. She may not even realize it consciously, but she's battling against the invisible presence of other women. In her mind, if you're no longer giving her energy, then surely someone else is receiving it. That fear activates her survival instinct, her need to secure value in your world before it slips too far away. She'll start aligning herself with your interests, bringing up things you once mentioned in passing, as if they've always mattered to her. She's now mirroring you, not because she's become you, but because she wants to be relevant to you again. This is where many men stumble. They see the return of attention and take it as a green light to re-engage fully, mistaking her reaction for genuine affection rather than a response to lost control. The high-value man, however, knows better. He stays grounded. He acknowledges her presence without being pulled by it. He welcomes the interaction but doesn't chase it. He appreciates the energy without giving his away recklessly, because he understands real value isn't proven through desperate reciprocity, but through unwavering composure. Her attentiveness might also come with subtle anxiety. She may message more often, but with nervous undertones. She might ask if something's wrong, if she upset you, or why things feel different. She's looking for clues, for reassurance that she hasn't lost you completely. And while your ego might enjoy the attention, the wise man doesn't let it inflate him. He doesn't gloat. He doesn't punish. He remains steady, calm, and measured, because that's what real power looks like. But her response doesn't stop at attention. Once she sees that you're not biting, not falling back into old patterns, she begins to test you. She'll want to know if your disinterest is real, or if it's just a tactic. She'll challenge your resolve, often through subtle games or emotional feints. She may act distant in return, thinking that mirroring your coldness will draw you out. She might delay responses, skip your calls, or act like she's unbothered. But underneath, it's a calculated risk, a play to see if you'll break first. This is where emotional discipline becomes critical. Many men panic at this stage, thinking they've pushed too far, and they overcompensate, sending long texts, explaining their behavior, trying to recover the warmth that once was. But by doing that, they abandon the strength that caught her attention in the first place. What she's really asking, in her own way, is, Are you really this composed, or is it just an act? And your answer, your stillness, is the proof she needs. She may escalate the game by trying to provoke jealousy. Mentions of new male friends, ambiguous social media posts, or stories that subtly imply other men are in the picture. These aren't accidents. They're triggers. She wants you to feel something, to flinch, to respond. If you do, you lose the frame. But if you don't, if you remain unmoved, you reinforce your position as a man who cannot be emotionally manipulated. That's rare. That's magnetic. Her tests may also come in the form of critique. She might pick fights, question your choices, or challenge your lifestyle. Not because she hates who you've become, but because she wants to destabilize your calm. If she can throw you off, get under your skin, make you emotional, she regains the upper hand. Your job is not to explain yourself endlessly or prove her wrong. It's to stay firm, hold your ground, and let your choices speak louder than her criticisms. That quiet confidence will say more to her than any defense ever could. And when all of this doesn't work, when your silence becomes too loud to ignore, she becomes emotionally unpredictable. You'll feel her swinging between warmth and coldness, affection and hostility, sweetness and distance. These swings are not signs of insanity. They're signs of internal conflict. She's trying to recalibrate her sense of importance in your life, and the lack of confirmation from you makes her anxious. She's attempting to reset the balance by flooding you with different emotions, hoping one of them will make you react. In one moment, she may pour out her affection, telling you how much she misses you or how amazing you are. The next, she may lash out, accuse you of being distant, cold, or selfish. She may cry, rant, or pull away again. This seesaw of emotions is her way of forcing a response, any response, just to know you still feel something. But your greatest strength here is detachment, not coldness, not cruelty, just calm, unwavering presence. You let her feel, you let her express, but you don't let it shake you. When she sees that her emotional tornado doesn't move you, she changes course. She tries to reignite your interest. This is when she begins investing effort into being desirable again. She'll change how she dresses, how she walks, how she talks around you. She'll flirt more openly, laugh more freely, and recall the good times you shared. It's her way of pressing the reset button, hoping to draw you back in with charm rather than chaos. Pay attention here. This is when she becomes intentional. Her outfits change, her social media becomes more curated, her behavior more polished. She wants to remind you of what made you desire her in the first place, or perhaps show you a newer, better version of herself. She'll highlight the things she knows you liked and downplay what pushed you away. She might even align more with your interests, suddenly becoming a fan of your favorite music or showing up at events you care about. Again, it's not always manipulation. Sometimes it's genuine effort. But your role is to observe, not chase. She may start appearing more frequently in your physical or digital space, coincidentally bumping into you, posting stories at places you've mentioned, tagging mutual friends in content that subtly references shared memories. These are breadcrumbs, carefully laid out, hoping you'll follow the trail. But the man of value doesn't follow blindly. He assesses, he notices, and he lets her effort speak louder than any confession could. Eventually, when charm doesn't achieve her goal fast enough, she turns into mind games. These are more layered, more tactical, and often more frustrating. One minute she's hot, the next she's cold. She may message late at night, then ignore you all day. She might post a picture with a mysterious caption, only to reply to your message with indifference. All of it is meant to destabilize your perception, to get you to question your position, to make you chase answers. The purpose behind these games is simple: regain power. If she can make you emotionally reactive, jealous, angry, confused, she regains her hold. Because now, You're no longer detached. You're no longer calm. You're back in the loop, reacting to her stimulus. That's the game. But you don't have to play. The more consistent and unbothered you remain, the more she sees that her games no longer work on the man you've become. And that realization changes everything. When games fail, she might pivot again, this time trying to reassert dominance directly. She may become more critical, more dominant in conversation, or more condescending. She might try to diminish your sense of confidence by reminding you of past failures, implying that you've changed for the worse, or that you're no longer as desirable. But all of this stems from one truth. She feels the loss of control, and it scares her. Rather than chasing, she now attempts to seize the narrative. She'll reduce her availability, ignore your messages for longer, or cancel plans abruptly, hoping you'll feel the sting of rejection. But what she doesn't realize is that the man she's dealing with now doesn't operate from desperation. He operates from abundance. You let her pull away, because you're not afraid of distance. You don't panic. You don't chase. And that, ironically, brings her closer. Her final move, when nothing else works, is pursuit. Aggressive, direct pursuit. She starts showing up more, messaging more, reminding you more directly of the connection you once had. She stops playing hard to get because the game no longer serves her. She might send heartfelt texts, reminisce about shared memories, or suggest meeting up just to talk. But now, she's the one doing the work. She's the one trying to earn your attention, not the other way around. You'll notice how her time becomes more available, how she's suddenly prioritizing you over others. She's no longer trying to win by withdrawing. She's trying to win by giving more. And while it may feel tempting to reward her effort, your role is not to fall into old patterns. It's to maintain the foundation you've built, one of calm, self-respect, and emotional strength. Because the truth is, when a woman realizes she's lost your interest, she begins to discover just how valuable your attention truly was. And if you've mastered the art of stepping back with grace, of holding your frame without resentment, of being powerful without being petty, then she'll come to see you not as someone she lost, but as someone she has to earn again. That's where your true value lies, not in how fast you give love, but in how deeply you command respect. Not through dominance, but through unshakable clarity. And when you lead with that, the game changes, forever. And as the balance shifts completely, you begin to notice something even more profound. She no longer interacts with you the same way she did when she believed she had you. Her laughter carries a different edge. Her texts take longer to compose. Her tone is measured, even careful. She's no longer operating from a place of assumed safety. Now she's navigating uncertainty, vulnerability, and the uncharted space of not knowing how you truly feel. That ambiguity drives her to dig deeper, not into you, but into herself. She begins evaluating how she showed up, what she may have overlooked, what signals she might have missed. And in doing so, she starts to grow, not just in her pursuit of you, but in her awareness of what it means to lose something she never thought she'd have to fight for. This is where the transformation happens, for both of you. You, having stepped into a place of discipline and emotional mastery. Her, now reflecting on the meaning of your absence more than the comfort of your attention. It's here that the dynamic takes on a different rhythm. No longer about control, no longer about tactics, but about recognition. Recognition of value, effort, and presence. If she is still pursuing, still consistent, still respectful of the space you're in, then it's no longer about reclaiming dominance. It's about acknowledging the depth of what was taken for granted. That's when you decide, not from need, not from loneliness, but from clarity, whether to re-engage. And if you do, it must be on a new foundation. One not built on imbalance or emotional dependency, but on mutual respect and grounded identity. You don't go back into the old patterns of proving yourself. You don't step into her frame. You let her step into yours, not as a concession, but as a recognition of the shift that's occurred. You lead calmly, without pressure. She follows willingly, not manipulatively. And if the connection is meant to be rebuilt, it will be built stronger, because now it's forged in fire, not illusion. But if you see that her pursuit is still laced with games, still dripping with uncertainty, or layered in attempts to control once more, then you continue walking your own path. Not with bitterness, not with revenge, but with dignity. Because the most powerful move a man can make is to stay loyal to himself in a world constantly asking him to bend. You become the kind of man whose energy can't be bought, whose attention is earned, and whose presence is never taken lightly. There's something magnetic about a man who doesn't flinch, who doesn't unravel the moment a woman pulls back, who doesn't chase ghosts, who isn't scared of silence. That man carries a different gravity. He walks through the world as if nothing outside of him can disturb what's already grounded inside. And women feel that. They feel it deeply. Some are terrified by it. Others are drawn in. But all respect it. That's the paradox. The less you need her attention, the more meaningful it becomes when she offers it freely. The less you chase, the more your presence challenges her to rise. You don't demand respect, you command it without a single word. You don't convince her of your worth, you demonstrate it through how unwavering you remain in the face of confusion, distance, or even temptation. This is the journey most men never take, because it's easier to react than to reflect, easier to chase validation than to sit with discomfort. But the man who rises above that instinct becomes something rare, a man who leads not just in relationships, but in life. He becomes the man who sets the standard, not the one who conforms to it. The man who inspires growth in others simply by refusing to be moved by chaos. So when a woman realizes you've lost interest, don't see it as an ending. See it as an awakening, not just for her, but for you. It's your opportunity to let go of the need for external approval and step into the power of inner alignment, to move from boyish neediness to masculine presence, from emotional volatility to calculated calm, from the noise of attention-seeking to the silence of self-mastery. Let her do what she must. Reach out, test, provoke, pursue. Let her process the discomfort of your distance. Let her feel what it means to lose the emotional access she once had without effort. But as she does, remain grounded, focused, centered in purpose. Because your greatest strength is not in how loudly you move, but in how deeply you don't have to. When you reach this level of control, the game changes forever. Not because you've beaten her at it, but because you're no longer playing it at all. In the end, you're not withholding attention as punishment. You're simply giving it to yourself first. You're not stepping back to hurt her. You're stepping into the fullness of your own value. And if she returns, not out of panic, not out of desperation, but out of clarity and respect, then, and only then, does reconnection become possible. Not as a return to who you were, but as a step toward who you've both become. Because the man who has mastered his attention has mastered the one thing she'll never be able to manipulate again, his mind. And that is the most attractive, powerful, and unshakable energy a man can carry.